Hello everyone. In this module, let me continue the theorem on measured integration. Here is a statement. Given any collection E of subsets of X, there is smallest algebra of X which contains E. In the sense, suppose if I'll tell you rough sketch here. Suppose if I have a set, say X. So, given any collection E of subsets of X. So, X is set here and given E is subset of X. Then, there is a smallest algebra of X which contains E. Now, we have to prove that there exists one smallest algebra, say small letter A. Fine. So, this is the smallest algebra on a given set X which contains E. So, we have to prove that E belongs to A, or else I can say A contains E. A is algebra here. So I'll repeat the statement again. We have a set X and E is a subset of X. In exam, it is remember it is important. It is asked in year 2018. So in place of E, they may ask theta also. Whatever may be the element, remember. Suppose if X is a set and E is a subset of X, then we have to prove there exists an algebra, say A, such that algebra contains a given element E. Or else I can say I have to prove that E belongs to A. Now what I'm going to take is, let me assume tau be the family of algebra. Tau be the family of algebras that contains E. That contains E. Meaning is that tau is one of the algebra which contains E in the sense I can say E belongs to tau, right? Tau is a family of algebra, so I can say which contains E, meaning is E belongs to this tau. Fine. Now suppose that tau not equal to pi. Remember, since tau is an algebra, so it is closed under its complementation as well as it is closed under union as per the definition of algebra that I have done in first module. So suppose if tau is not a null set, in the sense there exists some element in a given algebra, then let us take one of the algebra, small letter A. Small letter A is an algebra. Tau is a family of algebra in which there exists n number of algebras. So I have taken one of the algebra, say A. Remember, A is an algebra. Fine. A is an algebra such that which contains B. B is again in tau. Meaning is that I have taken an algebra A which is in a family of algebra tau. Also, I have chosen one more algebra B. Remember, here A and B are algebras. Algebra which belongs to a family of algebra tau. Fine. Tau is a family of algebra among which I have chosen two algebras A and B in such a way that a set algebra will be equal to a set of all common algebras, that is B. Again, B belongs to tau, meaning is that B is also one of the algebra. Why? Because we have assumed tau is a family of algebras. Fine. Now, if this is the case, I can clearly write E is subset of A. E is subset of A. Why? Because here what is the given is X is a set. And moreover, tau is the family of algebra on X. So, E belongs to tau. Fine. And moreover, E belongs to X also, right? Why? Because tau is an algebra on given set X. So, E belongs to X and E belongs to X as well. Remember why I have written E is subset of A, meaning is since E is an element which belongs to given set X. Why? Because E is subset of X given in the problem itself. E is a subset of X. So meaning is E is in set X. Now E also belongs to tau. Why? Because E is one of the element in a given algebra. Why? Because tau is an algebra on X. Tau is an algebra on X and element E belongs to X, meaning is E is also in an algebra tau. So A is one of the algebra in tau. See, if E belongs to this algebra, E must also belongs to A. Why? Because A is one of the algebra in a family of algebra tau. So I can write E is subset of A. Fine. And what we have to prove is, I have already told you, we have to prove E belongs to A. Fine. That is what the meaning of statement is the smallest algebra of X which contains E. So we are proving X is a set on which contains E as a subset, and moreover there exists one of the algebra which contains the same element. So we have to prove that E belongs to A. So E is a subset of A, but we don't know whether A is algebra or not. Now we have to show that A is algebra. So when do we say a set is algebra? Only when it satisfies two conditions. One is it should be closed under complementation. Second one, it is closed under its union. Right? Or else I can say it is closed under union. One and the same. Now I am proving it is an algebra. First one, if let me take an element. Remember here A is an element whereas small a is an algebra. Fine. Let me take an element in algebra A. Then any element. Fine. If that was the case, A is also belongs to B. Why? Because A and B are an elements of tau. Or else I can say A and B are an algebras on a family of algebra tau. So if that element belongs to one of the algebra, then the same element will be in the second algebra as well. Now I can write A complement belongs to B. Why? Because I have already told you tau is a family of algebra and B is one of the algebra in tau. So as per the definition of algebra, it should be closed under its complementation. So if A belongs to B, then its complement also belongs to B. Therefore, I can write A complement belongs to set of all B's. Set of all B in tau. Set of all B in the sense set of all the algebras B. Why? Because A complement belongs to B, then A complement should belongs to all the algebra which is having the same property as B. Why? Because B is in tau. Now what I have assumed is, look at here. Set of all the algebras B as A. So I can write this as A. Meaning is that A complement is equal to, or A complement belongs to A as well. See here, A complement belongs to B and A complement belongs to A also. Am I correct? So now it is closed under complementation. Why? Because it is, element complement is also belongs to the same algebra. Now let me take two elements in a set A. Here A is algebra in a family tau. Now if this is the case, then AB also belongs to B. As I already told you in the previous case, A and B are algebra in tau. So if the elements belongs to one of the algebra, then the element should be in other algebra as well. Fine. This implies I can write A union B belongs to B. Reason is I have chosen a B from the family of algebra tau. If tau is an algebra, B is also an algebra. So if B is an algebra as per the definition of an algebra of a set, it should be closed under finite union. So that is the reason I can write A union B belongs to B, because B is belonging to a family of algebra tau. Fine. This implies A union B belongs to set of all the families of B. Am I clear? Since A union B belongs to B, in the sense it is closed under finite union. If that was the case, it will be applicable for set of all the algebras having same property as B. So that is why I have written like this. Now as per our assumption, intersection of B, in the sense the set of all the algebras which is having the same property or common property as B, what we assumed as A. So I can replace this with A. Implies that A union B also belongs to A. Am I correct? I have assumed A union B belongs to B. So A union B is also in A. So it is closed under finite union. First condition is that we have proved it is closed under its complementation. Second condition, it is closed under its finite union. So since it satisfies both the condition, so what can I write is, therefore A is an algebra of sets in X which contains E. Why? Because in the beginning itself I have assumed tau is a family of algebra that contains E. Moreover, E is a subset of X as per the given statement. This is the smallest algebra containing E. I'll repeat it once again. given that for any collection E of subsets of X, now X is one of the set and E is a subset of X. Fine, X is one of the set and E is subset of X. Now there is a smallest algebra of X which contains, this is the statement. We have to prove there is a smallest algebra of X which contains C, in the sense in X there should exist one of the algebra to which E belongs. So what I have assumed is, I have assumed tau as a family of algebra, in the sense whatever the elements belongs to tau will be an algebra, so which contains C. Fine. So tau should not be equal to null set. Why? Because there should be one of the algebra. Why? Because we have assumed tau is a family of algebra. Now what I have assumed is A as a collection of all the algebras which is having the common properties. So let me take that as B. This implies E is clearly subset of A. Why? Because X is a set and tau is algebra on X and E is subset of X. Right? Since E is subset of X, I can write E as belongs to X. Similarly, tau is algebra on X, so E will belongs to tau as well. I am repeating once again, X is set, so E is subset of X. Fine. So if E is subset of X, I can write E belongs to X. Right? And tau is algebra on X. So if E belongs to X, E should belongs to tau as well. Right? If E belongs to tau, let me consider this condition. Since A is algebra in tau, fine, A is algebra in tau. That is what we have assumed. A is algebra in one of the family of algebra tau. So if A belongs to tau, I can write this element E also belongs to A. Or else I can write E is subset of A. If you understand this condition, it is easy to understand this. X is a set and E is subset of X. And tau is a algebra on X. If an element E belongs to X, then E should belongs to tau. Since A is algebra on tau, if E belongs to tau, then E should belongs to A. Meaning is E belongs to A same as E is subset of A. So that is why I have written like this. Meaning is E is contained in A. Now we have to show that A is an algebra. So when do we say it is an algebra? It should satisfy two conditions. First one is it should be closed under complementation. Second one, it should be closed under finite union. Now what I have done is A is one of the element I have assumed in a set of algebra. That is A. So if A belongs to A, I can clearly write A belongs to B as well. Why? Because I have stated the reason here. Both the elements A and B are an algebras in a family of algebra tau. So since tau is an algebra, then definitely A and B are algebra. So its complement also belongs to B. So if meaning is if A complement belongs to B, let me take the same element belongs to intersection of all the algebras which is having common property as B. Now what I have assumed as intersection B is A. So I have replaced this with A. Implies A complement belongs to the same element A. Here A is an algebra. So first condition is proved. Second condition we have to prove it is closed under finite union. So I have assumed two elements in an algebra A. So same element belongs to B as well. Why? Because A and B are an elements of tau. So since A is already algebra, so A we have to prove B is an algebra, so union belongs to B. Why? Because B is an element of tau. Now what I have done is A union B also belongs to family of, since it belongs to B, then it should belongs to family of B which is having the same property in tau. So as per our assumption, intersection of B can be replaced as A. So A union B belongs to A. It is closed under finite union. So since both the conditions are satisfied, I can say A is the smallest algebra set of X which contains E. Hence the proof. Hope it is clear. Now the next concept is important concept. It is asked in 2019 and 2017. Outer measure of a set R. So how can we define an outer measure of a set R? Suppose if capital A is any set of real numbers. If capital A is any set of real numbers, then outer measure of this set is denoted by m star a. So the moment I write m star a, it represents the outer measure of a set A. Fine. And it is defined as m star a is equal to infimum of summation n is equal to 1 to infinity length of the interval an, and infimum will be taken over I is equal to 1 to infinity all the interval in. Meaning is that I have already told you in the first theorem itself, if A is any open set, then that should be a subset of union of all the open interval. You have to remember this throughout measure and integration. So A should be subset of union I is equal to 1 to n in. So I have taken all those minimum values. So that is why infimum A is subset of union of in and I is equal to 1 to infinity. Now here I'll write n is equal to 1 to infinity length of all such interval in. Remember when I said length of in, suppose if I have a interval, open interval, generally open interval a and b, length of in will be b minus a. So if you are going to take sum over all those lengths in an open interval, and if we apply infimum for that, that will give us outer measure of a set. So for a given set A of real numbers, m star A represents outer measure of a set. So length of any interval is given by b minus a. And remember, any open set is subset of union of all the open intervals. This is open set, this is open interval. So if you are going to take infimum of all the lengths from n is equal to 1 to infinity, you will get measure of a set on a real number. Now coming to the properties, we are going to apply the direct properties of outer measure in case of theorems. Now let us look at the properties. First property is that open set is always subset of n is equal to 1 to infinity in is any covering if, let me add if here, if this is the case throughout the measure integration, you have to remember this comes from theorem 1. So any open set can be expressed as union of all open intervals statement. So any is any covering, then if you are going to apply measure on this, I can write this as which is less than or equal to I is equal to 1 to infinity length of in. Meaning is that the minute when you apply measure for the given set, you have to write m star a. Then subset will become less than or equal to, and union will become summation. Length interval in will become length of in. Remember, when I'm going to apply measure, outer measure for any given set, subset will should changes to less than or equal to, and summation, union will become summation. And you have to take, when you put summation, you have to take length of that particular interval given. This is the first property. Fine. Now coming to the second property. M star a, that is measure of any real number, is positive. Meaning of greater than or equal to 0 is positive for any set A in R. Remember, measure of any set, open set A is positive. Meaning is it should be greater than or equal to 0. Third one, measure of null set is always equal to 0. If this condition holds, I can write null set will be a subset of x minus epsilon by 2 and x plus epsilon by 2 for any epsilon greater than 0. Meaning is that since measure of null set is 0, if this condition is holds good, I can directly write as this set is subset of x minus epsilon by 2 and x plus epsilon by 2. As epsilon is small quantity, we can neglect it. So I can write m star pi is less than or equal to epsilon. Fine. Now the doubt arises in our mind is that how 0 become epsilon. Now if you are going to take length of this particular measure represents the length. So if you are going to take length of this particular interval, x plus epsilon by 2 minus x minus epsilon by 2, you will get, since you have minus here, so what it become, x plus epsilon by 2 minus x plus epsilon by 2. So plus x minus x get cancelled. Epsilon by 2 plus epsilon by 2 will gives us epsilon. So that is the reason I can replace this with epsilon. So if this is the case, I can apply these two properties. Remember, this is one of the property of outer measure of a given set. And next fourth property is that M star is monotonic. M star is monotonic. So you are already familiar with this monotonic concept in your real analysis. So M star is monotonic, meaning is that suppose A is subset of any set, say B. Then if you are going to apply measure on that set, I can write M star of A is less than or equal to M star of B. We have already used this property in first one. See here, you have subset here. I have applied measure, so that will become less than or equal to. That is what the meaning of monotonic is. So it has subset, it will become less than or equal to for any countable covering or any open interval in. Fine. So this is one of the property of outer measure of a given set. Remember this. Fine. Now fifth property. I'll send you the notes of the same. Please copy that. Anyhow, you just remember these properties. Fifth property, measure of any element is equal to 0. Measure of null set is equal to 0. I have already told you. And measure of any element is equal to 0 for any x belongs to R. Then I have already told you, if this was the case, I can choose epsilon greater than 0 in such a way that this x will be contained in something like this. X minus epsilon by 2 and x plus epsilon by 2. So the minute measure will become 0, I can apply this property. Now apply measure on both sides for this equation. So you will get M star x is less, since it is monotonic, so as I already told you in property 4, so I can write subset as less than or equal to, let me take, so when you are going to take measure here, it will become length as per the definition. Length of x minus epsilon by 2 comma x plus epsilon by 2. So you will get M star x is less than or equal to, let me calculate the length, x plus epsilon by 2 minus x minus, you have minus of minus, it will become plus. So you will get M star x is less than or equal to epsilon. Now epsilon is an arbitrary element. Anyhow, it is very small quantity. In certain cases we can neglect it. So that is how you will get measure of any element is less than or equal to, or else we can write it should be equal to 0. Since epsilon is very small, less than will become negative value, right? When you are going to consider 0, you cannot write less. Why? Because when you write less, it meaning is it is negative. So measure denotes length. Length cannot be negative. So that is the reason I can write equal. So measure of any element x is equal to 0 if this condition holds good. Hope it is clear. Now the sixth and seventh property is also there. So let me revise all these 5 properties so it is easy to remember for you. First property is, if you have subset, you can write less than or equal to, that is monotonic, and moreover when you apply measure here, you have to take length of an interval. And next one is measure of null set is 0, then we can write like this in terms of epsilon. Anyhow, we can neglect epsilon. Now monotonic, fourth one. Monotonic in the sense I can replace subset by less than or equal to. And measure of any element is 0. I can write something like this in terms of epsilon by 2. Since epsilon is arbitrary, so I can eliminate or neglect it. Thereby, I can write measure of an element is equal to 0. Hope it is clear for you. Continue with the same property of outer measure. Still 2 more properties is there. Continue in the next session. Thank you. Hope it is clear. The notes will be forwarded in the group. See you in the next session.